Alrighty. Been watching a few Bob Wells videos and I have a few things to say. Who knows what a flying toilet is? We'll get to that in a second. You know, there's trying to save money and there's just camping in a vehicle. I understand that a lot of these people he shows, they're cheap RV living. There's cheap and there's just life with pieces of foam and buckets, which is almost bordering on what he's looking at and what he's talking about. You know, some of us have got a bit of money and that to do things a little bit better. Other people that he shows are only doing it on a temporary basis until they can afford something better, or they sort of want to get a bit of a, you know, they want to go on the nomad life straight away. So they just use some, you know, SUV they already own, an old people mover van or something, you know, something they got for peanuts, you know, like $1,000 or something, and just get out there because they want to go on a trip. And they have the money, but they sort of, they're looking for a van that they like an RV, a Class B, Class C usually, that they like, that is at a price they like, that has things set up the way they, instead of just running out cluelessly and paying too much and getting something that doesn't really suit them, they, you know, they just want to go on a trip for a start. And some of these people, they can afford stuff and they have better stuff, or they've got plans, or they're waiting to save enough money to get better stuff. But there's some of them there that it's just, it's almost like my early days here. You know, it's just, in fact, it's worse than my early days here because, you know, I had one of these things, you know, Coleman hot water on demand. In fact, I've actually got two of them, but I'm not too sure something might be happening with the other one. So that was my second one, but I might test the other one day when I get around to these things. But anyway, because the other one hasn't had much use, but I think it's got contamination in the propane line, I think. But anyway, long and short of it is, some of these people, it's, fuck me drunk, there's people living homeless under a bridge in a tent who are doing just as good as some of these nomad dwellers. You know, you're sitting there watching this, well, I have a wash using a spray bottle, or this or that, or, you know, I have a bucket and I wipe myself down with baby wipe. It's all fine, it's all legitimate, but some of these people, my God, their entire life is just foam fucking mattresses, bits of plywood, and buckets. And that's it. And one little cheap-ass single-burner butane stove. And I know it works, but God damn, is this guy going to start going around California interviewing all the homeless bums living in tents in Los Angeles, San Francisco? Like, really? Like, and the pride on these people's faces. Now, I do it like this, and I do it like that, and here's a big revelation. I have this, and I only need that to do that, and whoa, I've seen some pretty fucking strange stuff, including a guy in a Toyota Tacoma. And it's remarkable how some of these people, they've got to be, you know, this is a 2017 model or whatever, you know, it's like, fuck me, your car's like 2 years old, and yet you're living like some hobo under the fucking bridge. You know, this guy's sitting there with, like, I think it was a 2017 Toyota Tacoma or something like that, you know, it might have been 2016. It was fairly bloody new vehicle, and you can tell it's new. And a lot of these people are in vehicles that are fairly new, you know, and they're often 4x4s, and some people have got older stuff, but this guy in the Toyota Tacoma, and it's surprising how many people do have vehicles that are literally less than 5 years old, but this guy in the Toyota Tacoma, oh man, look, I have a bucket that I shit in. It seems that everybody has a bucket to shit in. You know, they're getting something like the fucking thing I've just been repointing the chimney with here, which I think, you know, they got bigger ones that are 5 gallon. I think this is around about a 3 gallon, but when I find my bloody torch, you know, you'll get the general idea. And there's me bag of mortar. You know, and that's a bit of a dent in the bottom, but that's, you know, it's just another one of these white plastic buckets. I've been redoing the chimney there. She looks a little bit dirty, but that's the chimney finally finished anyway. And this guy and all these other ones, oh well, I double bag these things when I have a shit in case one breaks through. But you know what he was actually doing? He was double bagging a bucket, having a shit in it. Then he would pull the bag out, and he'd use the same bucket to wash his clothes. Oh, fuck! What if you went and got dollar store bags, or, you know, you had a batch of bags that, you know, was a bit dodgy, and the machine fucked up, but they didn't really notice, you know, or the guy working there is only on minimum wage, or they're all imported from China and they simply don't give a fuck that you got a whole bunch of these bags that are, you know, and the first ones are right, and then you get, well, a couple that are bad and you don't even notice, and it just goes straight through because they're either too cheap or they're made in China, and like most things made in China, they're crap. And they're too crap to hold crap. And then you're going to wash your clothes in the same bucket that you're having a shit in? Oh, fucking what? Can't you buy 2 buckets? You know, you get these buckets, and when you get ones that are all the same, I mean, here's one of the real smaller ones. That's, I don't know, some other bloody thing that had something. There's probably another plaster bucket. It might have been, I think this one was actually, yeah, had a bit of colouring in it for concrete colouring, but anyway, or something. But, you know, they get ones, and, I mean, this is a smaller one than most, and there's other big ones I used to get rat poison in too, and they're the proper, like your full 5 gallon ones. And, you know, you just slip one inside the other. I mean, I'm not going to go out in the rain because it's rained again, but I've got, you know, pot plants and buckets all fold into each other. You know, so that's what buckets do. Why not buy yourself 2 buckets, spend that last $2 or $3 to buy another bucket? Oh, big spender! And shit in one bucket, and have your bags in there and do all that, but have a second bucket that you wash your clothes in. And when you want to transport them, well, you get your shit bucket and you slide it inside your washing bucket so that it's only touching the outside of your shit bucket and there's no chance of poo-poo on your clothes. Like, oh man, there's going cheap and there's just bullshit. This same guy, baby wipes, now I have a pack here just in case, oh, you know, Kitty has a little, another dead rabbit or something like this, and you know, some of these mice, it's, you know, I wake up the next morning and there's a little stain of blood where she ate the mice or whatever, so I'll get these, I've got antibacterial wipes, often I use them, so if it's not too bad, I'll just use the baby wipes. If it's only a bit of blood, if it's actual guts, I'll use the expensive ones that are the antibacterial ones, that are actually got like a, what is it, benzoalkylene chloride or something? It's like it's fucking almost like bleach or something in the damn things. And, you know, then I'll go and clean up. But we all know what baby wipes are. We often have them. I find they're also good to clean the kitchen table because they tend to get the coffee stain. You know, I'll just use them like wet wipes. And that's all good and all fine. This guy was such a tight ass. Oh, people don't realise how strong these are. Oh, here we go. What does he do? He washes the fucking wet wipes, puts in some antibacterial salt that he probably got from some damn hippie shop that probably doesn't do fuck all, you know, so you really wonder how good some of these antibacterial salts are, and some of these strange things you haven't heard of. They may be good, they may not be. Do you know that seawater is antibacterial? He might be buying antibacterial salt that is actually just fucking table salt or sea salt. But he goes and moistens his wipes again, puts them back in a little plastic fucking container, a little plastic jar or some fucking thing, and reuses them after he's washed them, put the antibacterial salt in them and dampened them, if they weren't already damp from washing. And he's reusing baby wipes. These are the same baby wipes he washes his body. Oh, fuck, dude, just go buy another pack for $2. Just do it. You can get enormous packs. I've seen ones that are like fucking huge, like thousands of packs for $10. You know, like there'd be like fucking 10,000 wipes for $10 or something. Oh, fuck me, or $15 or what, you know. Just buy some more. You don't, But they're all saying it like as though they're fucking, like they've found gold in their fucking underpants. You know, they're all saying it like they've got a fucking eureka moment, and they're telling him like it's, oh, this is a big amazing story, and I discovered the fucking truth about fucking whatever, and oh, it's amazing, I've discovered something amazing. No, bro, you're telling us how you shit in a bucket and then wash your clothes in the same bucket. Oh man, I think Bob Wells might be begging for a parody, and if I can get a second person, I'm going to have to start making a parody or two of Bob Wells. My God, what is the dude? He's like Van Santa or something. You know, he's like nomadic Van Santa. What we should do is start sending him a whole heap of fucking Santa hats. Like, I'm just saying, like, just get on Amazon or whatever and just order like fucking 100, and each of us order. So he's sitting there and he's got like a good, you know, couple thousand of these fucking, maybe 1,500, 2,000 of these fucking Santa hats, and then we can watch him how to make your own doona, and sit there with a doona cover and fill it up with fucking Santa hats and say, see, I saved money because I got all these Santa hats given to me for free, and I've stuffed a doona full of Santa hats, and now that's my free bedding, and that's my free doona. How to get free doonas on the road, just stuff them full of Santa hats. God blimey. You know, we really need him to wear one in the fucking video, but anyway. Anyway, I want to get to the point of what a flying toilet is. In case you didn't know already. Before I hit on that, I've seen another one who was a black woman living in a van, and she, oh man, in case you're worried about men and how that goes, don't worry, it gets even worse with women. She had a bag, but it didn't even cover the whole top of the bucket. See, all it actually done was just cover the back. You've got to hope that your butthole, like your friggin' rectum, is in the right damn place, because her bucket, the front half was a funnel leading down to a piss jug, and the back half was a plastic bag. Heaven forbid you miss that plastic bag and you got a big shit streak down the side of your piss jug, and shit literally in the bottom of the bucket that you're trying to keep clean. You know, they talk about, oh, well, we tie it up and we throw it out later, which would actually be a flying toilet if you're in Africa, but anyway, you know, and sometimes we have a few smells, and there's a guy who have watched in the past, Robert Witham, and he's saying that he's got a little bit smarter. He uses cedar that he gets from Walmart. It's like bedding for rabbits and hamsters, so he goes to the pet section of Walmart, and there's enough smell in that to throw it in and blot the smell out. And sometimes he throws a bit of cat litter in. Probably better than some, you know, just sort of bagging it. But you see, there's something that's better again. And I am going to get my little torch and I'm going to show you that as well. Yeah, a proper porta potty. Now, this is a 165. I think there's a I don't know what the fuck it is. There might be an 85 or a 120 or some other bullshit number. And basically, this isn't the cheapest. This is actually the second bigger, like the second smallest. The smallest has a tank capacity not even half the size of that one. A little bit less than half the size of that one. That's the second best one. That cost me in US terms around $95 US. You know, and just go and get it properly. You don't have to keep throwing piss jugs in the bin. You have to keep buying bags. You just use it properly in a dump point, in a toilet, or whatever. And if you want to use your little disposable gloves, you can do that, which I probably will because I'm not into making myself sick. And that's that, you know? It's clean, it's official. If anyone gets narky, it is officially past every stinking fucking standard for Australia, every standard for Europe. It's built in Europe. It's probably half built in China, but I think it's assembled in Europe and everything. It may actually be fully built in Europe, but it's a European company. I think it's a Dutch company. Oh, look at this too. That there, instead of playing around with a bucket, it's got an actual handle and a lid that seals, like, where the fuck I put the damn thing, but it seals properly, clicks on, half turn around, and then you've got a tap to turn it upside down to drain it out. The lid will be just blowing around here somewhere. But you know, that's once again, that's sort of made for purpose. Oh, you can use a bucket. Well, you can sit there with a fucking broomstick swirling like hell, or you can use that, which will really work quite well, and they do work quite well. You've got to read the manual. There's a certain rate you've got to turn it at so that you're not just spinning the water to the outside, so that it is actually dumping from one side to the other as you turn it over. But they work fairly well. But I'm probably not even going to use that because I've got 3 working washing machines and 1 dead one in there that's a proper, you know, ones that I've run off the generator. I can do that if I need to, you know. If I was to go on a very long trip that I was going to be away for a month, I probably would use that little thing there. But, you know, let's get to flying toilet. Now, thankfully I remembered that you can actually zoom in with some of the... So we can actually zoom into the text a bit here. Now, what do you think that might be? Flying toilets after they have been used, filled, and thrown away in the Kibera slum area in Nairobi, Kenya. That's the capital of Kenya. On one side you have a huge big slum, considered to be one of the biggest in Africa. I'm not saying it's the biggest in the world, but one of the biggest ones in Africa. Is in that sort of a area. I assume that's the area, but you know, they have one of the biggest ones in Africa in Nairobi, Kenya. Flying toilet is a fictitious name, let's zoom in while we can, for a plastic bag that is used as a simple collection device for human feces when there is lack of proper toilets, or you're a van dweller that has been watching too many bucket chitter videos from Bob Wells and Camper Van Carolyn and everything like that. People are forced to practice open defecation. The filled and tied plastic bags are then discarded in ditches on the roadside, or simply thrown as far away as possible, or into the Walmart dumpster next time you're at Walmart. Oh, well, that must have just been my mind that read that out. Usage, problems, approaches for alternatives. See, they're actually trying to have alternatives to these sort of things. Several non-profit organisations have launched a Stop Flying Toilets campaign in Kenya, using a wing logo and sponsoring races for the famous Kenyan marathon runners. Construction of there we go. Construction of 3 sanitation blocks, 3 public toilet blocks in blah 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 Nairobi slum with 40 to 50,000 residents in this slum. Holy fucking cow. That almost sounds like San Francisco in another 20 years. Has reduced the use of flying toilets, thereby reducing the cloggage of the draining system. And now this is what I would like to point out. Outbreaks of cholera and diarrhea. Now, those of you who have the DVD set, which is very few, because it was an Australian broadcasting company thing. I don't know. I think it may actually be a BBC thing. Look into it. It's called 7 Wonders of the Industrial World. It explains the sewage system of London and how they had horrendous outbreaks of cholera from the shit getting in the same water they were drinking. Cholera is a waterborne disease caused by shit getting in the river that kills people. Ebola is a waterborne disease caused by shit getting in the water that kills people. And then in African tradition, they wash the dead body in the river, in which case more shit seeps into the river, the same river that people 3 miles downstream are drinking from, and lather, rinse, repeat, over and over and over. Now we have a real serious crisis in a couple of countries in Africa. There's still an Ebola crisis. They had one a couple of years ago. They had a cholera crisis in Haiti after the last earthquake fucking incident, whatever, a couple of years ago. You know, there's a reason why, you know, sometimes you have shitters that are, you know, built away from the house. Like Narso says, there's a reason that you have a house where you have a bathroom in one place and a kitchen in the other. And like you look at some of these people, and there's a guy there who, you know, he's got an Astro van that's fairly well set up and that, and, you know, he's got, well, this is my bench. I cook on this bench. Lift that up, like take the stove off, that single piece of plywood the stove's sitting on, lift that up, oh, guess what? There's his shitter. Oh, bro, look, whoa, fuck. Do you see me with a camping stove sitting it on the top of my fucking toilet seat? There's a reason for this stuff. And like Narso says, it's sort of hygiene. And you sort of, you know, he says, well, your stove's right here and your shitter's right there. Hey, some of these guys are going one better. The stove is actually directly on top of the shitter. It's like sitting on the fucking toilet seat. You know, this guy's got the outer ring of the toilet, like your donut piece of your toilet, but no actual seat, and that's the plywood that the fucking stove's sitting on. Oh, whoa. I can't remember if he had an actual proper lid on. He may have, but I sort of think he didn't, because I only saw this video last night. I understand why some of you guys call them bucket shitters, because they are indeed shitting in the bucket. And really, if you're watching, Bob, if this gets out to you, it's time to go to San Francisco and Los Angeles and talk to all the drug-addicted, problematic bums, homeless bums, about how they live their life in their homeless tent. And, yeah, they can show you the things they do with buckets and stuff like that, I'm sure, as well. But, oh, man, some of these people, they're cutting it fine. You know, there's reasons that, you know, you follow hygiene rules. Long story short, some of you know, some of you don't. I don't talk about it much because of the dramatic amount of bad puns, but I was involved in artificial insemination, and there was a laboratory, and I didn't really work in it, but I had to clean it. And look, there's real, you know, and we've brought in every now and then for a meeting, and they'd explain it all, and there's a real process and a mentality behind the way you got to do things to stop cross-contamination, so that this semen that's actually, you know, is used properly, because in certain cases, you know, there's certain bacteria that can permanently fuck up your ability to reproduce if you get a bacteria in your uterus, you know. And so they've got these real rules of, it even goes so far as when you're spraying alcohol over the place, which we used to, you're not really supposed to spray it because you'll mist it in the air. What you do is you spray it on a rag and then wipe the rag to drop the flammability levels in case someone's using a Bunsen burner and you blow the fucking shit out. You know, you're not going to blow the shit out of the place with alcohol, but I have actually caused a few alcohol-related explosions previously using, you know, shit like, well, basically this here, which is something like 96% alcohol, which the bums do drink that stuff. In fact, a lot of Aboriginals mix it with cordial and drink it. But, you know, that can explode when it's under a fairly tight, especially if you put a match near the front of the bottle. You know, they'll, you know. But this is the thing, like, not only are they, you know, they've got all these processes for bacteria and how to stop cross-contamination, and it's a real boom, 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 boom thing, and you got all these fucking hand squirt bottles with your alcohol-based, like your antibacterial gel that you rub on your fucking hands. Yeah, fuck. Whoa. We're not doing AI, but I'm fucked if I'm going down with cholera on the basis of, you know, somehow cross-contaminating sewage with food. Even if it's just a, you know, I'm not going down like that, and nobody should have to, you know, and this is the thing, like, there's hygiene rules for reasons, and, you know, well, we can save a little bit of money, and you're looking at this, dude, if you're going to wash your clothes in a bucket, for the love of God, I'll give you $3, buy a different bucket. I don't want to see you using a towel that you wipe the fucking bench with near where you're cutting your food up that's been washed in the same bucket that you were shitting in, and well, that Chinese-made plastic bag. Oh, I double bagged it, yeah, but both bags had a hole, bro, because you got the cheap dollar store ones from China. Oh, man, you know. Anyway. You know, I'm not saying I'm a doctor, but I have had a little bit of involvement with being taught antibacterial stuff. I even, you know, worked at a chicken abattoir, and they tell you about food processing and cross-contamination with food, and it went right down the line to even seafood processing, what we were taught, and although we didn't do seafood, that was part of the course. Yeah, they... Oh, and then you got people who light a stove at night to keep themselves warm. Carbon monoxide issues a little bit there. I'm not saying it's terrible, but like, fuck me, bro, you're in a very small space. You know, there's another guy I've seen who even had a van, and I think they might have even had carpet, and they went and heated up this van by literally sitting a stove directly on the carpet, or it might have been lino in the back of the van, but they set it straight on the ground. No piece of cement sheet, no piece of asbestos, which, regardless of what you may think, I would probably, you know, asbestos is a really, really, really good heat insulator, and a lot of people are all scared of it, but, you know, I'm just saying it's probably the best you could have if you can get over your fear of a few asbestos fibres there, but, you know, there was nothing. The stove was directly on this fucking lino or plywood or whatever the fuck it was. I think it was even carpet. I'm pretty certain it was very tightly woven carpet. And he just sat the stove there. This is how I want... Fuck me drunk, bro! Get a piece of cement sheet, a bit of asbestos, a bit of tile, a fucking, like, 2 bricks. I don't care if you get a fucking aluminium frying pan, just something to stick under the bastard, so you don't catch the fucking floor on fire. My God, you're in a vehicle. Everything's fucking flammable in this thing. You got paint on the sides, you got water liner, or what I'm pretty certain was carpet on the floor. Oh man, some of these people, they just, you know, and they are, you know, woo, no problems, all the carbon monoxide. I can understand that sometimes you turn a blind eye to a few little things, like maybe a sealed deep cycle battery that, you know, you're keeping an ear to it when it's charging off solar to check that it's not bubbling and producing hydrogen. You know, you can do some things that are a little bit borderline, but oh fuck me drugs, some of these people, it's not borderline, it's just outright dangerous, you know? And all to save like fucking $2. I'd save $2, but I died of cholera. Woo! Fantastic! Fuck me drunk. Anyway, I understand why you people have a go at some of these van dwellers, or the ones you call the bucket chitters. You know, I saved $2 and I died of fucking cholera.